Jesseca Adlawan, Jessel Orevillo, Edelyn Concha, Jenevie Español, Leo Agusa, Mahallalel Revil, Marl, Justine, Ruiz, Emily.
Good day everyone, so I am Jesseca Adlawan. I am the first presenter of our group, which is the Challengers group. So our report is all about abiotic and biotic components. Biotic and abiotic are two essential factors responsible for shaping the ecosystem. The biotic factors refer to all the living being present in an ecosystem, and the abiotic factors refer to all the non-living components like physical condition, temperature, pH, humidity, salinity, sunlight, and etc., and chemical agents, different gases, and mineral nutrients present in the air, water, soil in an ecosystem. Abiotic components are basically represented by all non-living entities or kanang walay mga kinabuhi. This includes temperature, moisture, light, soil, fire, and pollution. So first is the temperature. Temperature is important in controlling the rate of processes inside an organism, thereby affecting its activity. So ang temperature is important siya sa pagkontrol sa kapaspason o proseso sa sulod sa lawas sa mga organisms. So in general, most important internal reactions proceed more quickly at a higher body temperature, which is equal, low, or higher than environmental temperature. So the group of organisms which fundamentally differ from other organisms in the relationships of body temperature. So first is the poikilotherms, a temperature that matches with environmental temperature, hence they are called as cold-blooded elements. So ang poikilotherms is sa mga temperatura na tumutugma sa temperatura ng kapaligiran. So they are called the cold-blooded organisms or mga organismo na may malamig na mga dugo. So for example is kaning alligator, fish, lizard, snake, crocodile, and frog. Second is the homeotherms, a temperature that tends to stay constant even when the environmental temperature changes. Hence, they are called as a warm-blooded organism. So ang homeotherms is isang temperatura na malamang na manatiling pari-pariho kahit na nagbabago ang temperatura sa kapaligiran. So they are called the warm-blooded organisms or ang mga organismong may mga mainit na dugo. For example is the elephant, dog, whale, also humans, and eagle and cat. Third is the heterotherms, organisms that manage to combine some of the advantages of homeothermy and poikilothermy. They are basically warm-blooded animals that hibernate in winter or cold seasons. So ang heterotherms is kani siya ng mga organism is kaya nila ubanon ang homeothermy and poikilothermy. So sila ang mga naiinit na dugo ng mga organisms or the animals ug kaya nila nga makasurvive sa kanang tugnaw nga panahon. So example is the badger, bat, bear, beaver, chipmunk, groundhog, hedgehog, ladybug, mouse, porcupine, prick dog, raccoon, skunk, snake, squirrel, and turtle. B is the moisture. Moisture refers to all amount of water in the soil or in the air. So if ang isa ka lupa basa or uga para sa mga organisms na nagpuyo dito, nagdepende siya sa duha ka factors, which is the soil moisture and the evaporate power of the air. If ang evaporate power of the air is motaas, so ang area ana niya is uga. If ang humidity mo baba, ang temperature pud ana niya is motaas ug ang hangin is madungagan. Humidity is defined as the moisture in the air in the form of vapor as expressed in 1. Absolute humidity, the actual of mass of water in a certain volume of air. 2 is the relative humidity, the actual absolute humidity expressed as a percentage of what absolute humidity would be in the air were saturated with water vapor at the same temperature and pressure. In simple terms, the absolute humidity is the ratio of mass of water vapor to the mass of of dry air. This is also referred to as the humidity ratio. The relative humidity, on the contrary, is the amount of water vapor that is present in the air relative to the amount it could hold at that given temperature. Plants may be classified according to their relationships on water. Xerophytes, those plants that grow in dry places or xeric and categorized into. So ang kaning xerophytes is katong mga plants or tanaw na motubo sa kanang mga uga ng mga lupa. So first is a true xerophytes consists of perennial shrubs with small and hard leaves and resistant to drought. So ang true xerophytes ay binubuo ng mga perennial shrub na ay mga gagmay ug na ay mga gahi nga mga dahon ug bisan tagtuyot is mabuhi gihapon siya. Second is the succulent plants consist of annual plants and watery tissues. So, ang succulent plants ay binubuo ng taonang halaman or kanang mga matubig. Next is the desert ephemeral plants consist of plants growing similar with moisture regions. Phreatophytes consist of plants growing in the desert wherein their wiry roots reach the water table. So, ang phreatophytes is binubuo ng mga halamang tumutubo sa desert kung saan ang mga ugat nito ay nakakarating sa water table or sa kanang tubig. Ang iyang roots is moabot sa kanang tubig. Mesophytes, those plants that grow in moist places. Mesophytes is kadtong mga tanom nga motubo sa basa nga lugar. Hydrophytes, those plants that grow in wet or watery places. So, ang hydrophytes is kadtong mga plants or tanom nga motubo sa kanang mga basa or matubig nga kanang lugar. For example, is kanang pictures nga akong gipakita. Fourth is the halophytes, those plants that grow in brackish or salty water. So, kanina mga plants or tanom is motubo sa kanang mga parat nga tubig. For example, kaning akong picture nga gipakita. See light. Light is a kind of radiation, especially the visible wavelengths of electromagnetic radiation. Ecological aspect of light according to its importance on living organisms. So first is the tolerance. Is the ability of an organism to survive and grow under the canopy or shade, lower light intensity and also high humidity, moderate temperature and reduced wind actions. So ang tolerant is kadtong mga organisms nga kaya mabuhi sa ilalom sa canopy. Nga dili kaayo ug na sila kaya kanina mga organisms is naay kaya nga mabuhi sulod sa canopy nga naay mga babang intensity at liwanag na mataas din ang kahalugmigbigan katamtamang temperatura at mababang pagkilos ng hangin. So kaya nila makasurvive bisan ing ana ang temperatura. So next is the photoperiodism, refers to the length of light and dark portions of the 24-hour day. So ito ay tumutukoy sa haba ng liwanag at madilim na bahagi sa loob ng 24 na oras. So kanina mga plants respond to change in the length of day at night. So this is called the photoperiodism. The following are the classes of organisms according to the cycles of rhythms. So first is the diurnal organisms, those organisms that are active in daylight, or kanina mga organisms is active ni sila pag adlaw. So kanina mga organisms like the bat, butterfly, deer, duck, fox, frog, groundhog, mouse, rabbit, robin, skunk, chipmunk. Second is the nocturnal organisms, those organisms that are active at night, or kanina mga organisms is kanang active sila pag gabi. So for example is kaning bat. So ang ilang mata grabe kasiga. Third is the crepuscular organisms, those organisms that are active at dawn, or kanina mga organism is active pagkadlawon.
Good day everyone, I am Jessel Orevillo, and this topic is the continuation of Jessica's report. So now let's talk about soil. Soil is the low surface materials of land in which plant grow. It is composed of fragments of parent materials, organic matter in various stages of breakdown, soil water and the minerals and organic compounds dissolved in it, soil gases in the space and living organism. So soil provides the structural support to plants used in agriculture, and it is also their sources of water and nutrients. So soil also the sources of the plants. So no, dili biya mabuhi ang kanang plant kung walay soil. So without soil, ang imo tanom is dili siya nindot og tubo. Dili siya di ba mas nice og tubo ang tanom if kanang nindot pud ang kanang imuhang soil nga pilion. So soil is kanang needed gid siya sa kanang plant. No, kay di ba dili gid mabuhi kung walay kanang soil ang plant. So ano lang. Next is soil plays obvious role in plant growth. Water that used in transpiration and photosynthesis. So generally, water is kanang important gid siya, especially sa tua, especially sa mga tanom, no? Diba, dili gid ta mabuhi kung walay water. Diba, murag pag mag-inom na tag tubig is kanang mabusog na ta. So, next is calcium, nitrate, phosphate, and other mineral used in manufacture of various organic compounds. Oxygen that needs for respiration. So, oxygen is needed po siya para sa ato, hindi magigita mabuhi kung walay oxygen, di ba? When plant or any organism dies, the process of decay occurs in the soil through the activities of soil organism, especially bacteria and fungi. The soil is a home of many types of animals, from moles to salamanders, to earthworms, to beetles, and protozoans. So next is the three main layers of the soil horizon, where 3.1 or A horizon, uppermost layer or topsoil, where most of the plant roots are located. Dead organic matter is added to the top as litter, and it is partially broken up mixed as humus with the mineral soil below. So larger consists of decomposed material and organic matter. This is the reason the topsoil has a dark brown color. So no, makita nato no nga si topsoil is mo ng dark brown color. The humus makes the topsoil soft, porous to hold enough air and water. So si uppermost layer or si topsoil is dira nato makita ang mga living organism, no, like earthworms, millipedes, bacteria, and fungi, no. So diha nato makita sa topsoil. So next is P horizon. Organic material is larger absent in this layer but of high quantity of less withered mineral from parent materials. So sa ubos sa topsoil or uppermost layer mao si subsoil. So kung ikumpara nato is mas harder and compact pa siya kaysa sa topsoil, and mas lighter pa si subsoil kaysa kay topsoil. So sa ubos si subsoil is less ang iyahang organic but rich in mineral man sub. So ano lang. Next is 3.3 C horizon consists of more or less unaltered parent material such as glacial drift or bedrock. So bedrock is also known as parent rock. So below sa subsoil, no. Kita nato dira. So bedrock contains no organic matter and made up of stones and rock. So it is very hard. No, very hard yun siya kay. Made man siya sa stone and rock. So the soil that is well represented with both large and small particles is called loam. So loam soils are almost always productive soils. Even soils made up of sand and clay can be given favorable. Knowledge of the importance of humus in soils is not new to ecology. Long ago, pioneer American ecologists John Weaver and Frederick E. Clements once quoted that the physical effects are so marked that when the organic matter present in the soil is very high and the distinction between sands, loams, and clays are practically obliterated. So that's all for today, no? I hope nga naamoy na-learn gamay. So that's all, and keep safe everyone.
Hello everyone, I am Edelyn Concha and I am going to report about the fire. And this report is the continuation of Jessel Orevillo's report. Fire, a destructive, unnatural phenomenon associated with man, useful in managing ecosystem. So fire is hazardous to nature because it causes a damage to destroy nature. However, many ecosystems benefit from periodic fires because they clear out dead organic material, and some plant and animals population required and benefit brings to survive and produce. And there is 3 types of fire: surface fire, ground fire, and crown fire. Surface fire, a fire that sweeps rapidly over the ground, consuming litter and herbs, often killing the above ground stems of shrubs and scorching tree bases. Surface fire, a fire that burns only the surface, litter, and undergrowth. The tree canopy or above ground portion of a plant may be scorched but does not burn to the extent that will carry a fire and spread with a flaming front and burn leaf, litter, fallen branches. Ground fire, a flameless fire, and it is subterranean that may burn slowly for long period that practically kills most of the plants. Sometimes ground fire, called underground or subsurface fire, occur in deep accumulation of humus or the organic component of soil formed by the other plant material soil by soil microorganisms, peat, and similar dead vegetation that become dry enough to burn. This fire moves slowly but can become difficult to pull out or suppress. Crown fire, a fire that spread rapidly through the canopy of plants, killing most of it from the ground up. These are born through the top layer of foliage on a tree, known as the canopy. Crown fire is the most intense type of fire and often the most difficult to contain, needs a strong wind, steep slope, and heavy fuel load to continue burning. The direct effect of fire on plants were fairly evident. Most herbs and shrubs were killed and sprout later from underground. While burning those trees, plants, and leaves, there is a quiet light caused by the fire, and because of fire burning, the herbs, shrubs, and sprouts were also born later on the underground. Thick bark trees usually escape injury, but the thin trees, however, have the abilities to send up sprouts from their roots and allow them to survive fires in the same way as a perennial herbs. So pag mas makapal ang trees, dili dayon dali matay or ma-spread ang fires sa trees because of the thick bark trees. So thick bark trees insulates and protects the cambium from heat and damage. Then it is possible po na dili pod maapil pagkasunog dayon ang roots, which is there is a chance for them to survive and grow. The indirect effect of fire are also important to the future of plants and animals on the burned area. The amount of the light was increased simply through the loss of some plant cover. As long as the surface remained blackened, the soil tends to warm up more rapidly. So, indirect effect of fire is important to plants and animals because it gives them a chance to survive. For example, causing trees fire to produce more leaves. There may be increased runoff water and consequent erosion, but the burning of later freeze inorganic nutrients such as calcium and potassium in which the sprouting and germinating plant can use it. However, they may be increase of lost nutrients due to leaching. Then it is possible po nga na ay soil erosion yung hitabo or pagguho ng anyong lupa at pagsunog ng mga hindi organic na basura na naging dahilan sa pagkawala ng nutrient. The scientific use of fire as a tool of ecological management oriented in USA through the work of forester in Chapman and wildlife biologist Herbert Stoddard.
Good day, everyone. This is Jenevie Español, and this is the continuation of Edelyn's report. Our topic for today is pollution. So when we say pollution, it is when gases, smoke, and chemicals are introduced into the environment in a large doses that makes it harmful for humans, animals, and plants. So let's start. What is pollution? The word pollution was derived from the Latin word pollution, which means to make dirty. Pollution is a process of making the environment pollute the water and the air by adding harmful substances. Pollution causes an imbalance to our environment. This imbalance threatened the every survival of all forms of life. So the word pollution generally referred to as an adding of fault or poisons to the water or air. It is unfavorable modification of the environment by man activities. So, pollution is not new to us. Air pollution caused by burning of coal was recognized as contributor of human health problem in mid-1600s. When fossil fuels are burned, they release nitrogen oxides into atmospheres which contribute for the formation of smog and acid rains. Pollution affects in the individual organism directly by weakening or killing it, and so with the level of populations and ecosystem. One species may increase in number because pollution has harmed the other species, though such effect in the community may change and often becoming less diverse. So, pollution has many causes. Example, excessive fuel burning, industrial waste, pesticide that we can use in our farming, oil spills, and unwanted chemical being absorbed in the soil. There are two basic types of pollution. First, non-biodegradable pollutants refers to the materials and poisons such as aluminum cans, mercurial salts, long-chain phenolic chemicals, and etc. that either cannot be decomposed or can be slowly decomposed in the natural environment. So, non-biodegradable pollutants are those which cannot decompose. Examples, polyethylene bag, plastic bag, mercury or glass objects that cannot be decomposed. Second, biodegradable pollutant refers to the pollutants such as domestic sewage that can be rapidly decomposed by natural process or in engineered system that enhance nature great capacity to decompose and recycle. So, biodegradable pollutants, it is the waste emerging from our households which can develop by microorganism or decompose by microorganism. So, don't think that reducing pollutions always means limiting yourself. Mostly, it just means changing the pattern of our behavior and thinking outside the box. Saving the natures means finding new ways to fulfill our demand. Taking around the world as into considering later after a few days or months of eco-friendly life you actually see that your expenses may become healthier. This side effect is the possibilities of feeling yourself a superhero saving our planet or environment right here and now. So that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Leo Agusa. I'm here to report the two basic types of pollution. First type is the non-biodegradable pollutants. DDT, plastics, polythene, bags, insecticide, pesticides, mercury lead, arsenic, metal articles like aluminum, cans, floor fibers, glass objects, iron products, and silver foils are non-biodegradable. The second is the biodegradable pollutants. Biodegradable pollutants are emerging from household, which can be decomposed by microorganisms. These substances can be easily decomposed by natural occurrences such as oxygen, water, ultraviolet microbes, and acid rains. And the next is the air pollution. Air pollution is contamination of the indoor or outdoor environment by any chemical, physical, or biological agent that modifies the natural characteristic of the atmosphere. Household combustion devices, motorcycles, industrial facilities, and forest fires are common source of air pollution. That's
Good day everyone. My name is Mahallalel Revil, and for today I will discuss the water pollution and land pollution. First is water pollution. Water pollution degrades the uses of water for human consumption, recreational purposes, wildlife, agriculture, and industry. It also enhances the eutrophication resulting in the aging and clogging lakes. So once nga ang water is polluted, nagpasabot na dili na niangay gamiton sa bisan unsa nga mga butang tungod kay ang tubig is makadaot, dili na fresh, dili na siya maayo ang bukbuk sa tanom, sa mga agricultural, dili na siya angay pa isibis sa mga bulag kung ingon man sab sa industry. Kaapekto pud ni siya sa mga factory nga nagbuhat og mga water like minerals, muubos ang ilang supply tungod kay ang tubig is dili maayo. Dili fresh, dili maayo gamiton sa mga tao. Sabtan? Okay, padayon ta sa unahan diri ta sa land pollution. Land makes possible an establishment of structures which supports human activities like housing, settlement, and industrial complexes. It is also the medium through which agriculture productivity is made possible. Landform like mountain range contain mineral resources needed for industrial progress. All of this make land valuable resources. So ang land is important to us tungod kay nakatabang ni sa toa labi na sa paghimo sa atong mga balay, mga buildings, mga industrial complex, no? O labi na sa mga agricultural, sa mga pagtanom nato, makahimo ta sa pagtanom tungod sa lupa, no? Makahimo ta sa tanan. No, ngano man nga mapulyo man ang lupa, no? Tungod ra pud na sa atoa. Madaot ang lupa tungod sa atoa. Madaot ang soil tungod sa nga paglabay og mga basura, mga plastic nga dili dayon malata. nga nag-contain og medicine mo hinungdan nga himo nga madaot ang lupa. Muna siya nga gitawag og land pollution. Tungod sa dili pag-amping nato sa ato ang palibot, ato ang land, kita ra gihapon nagdaot. That's all. Na may nasabtan sa buwan ako nga discussion. Thank you.
So hello everyone, I am Marl Ruiz and this is my report and it's about biotic components. So what is biotic components? Biotic components are all the living things in an ecosystem. They are the animals, the plants, and the microorganisms. Biotic components also include the waste of living things and dead organisms. Even the harshest corner of our planet have biotic components. So, here's an example of biotic and abiotic. Since atong topic is biotic man, so sa biotic lang tong focus. So sa basta gingon ganin na guys nga ang biotic components is mga kuan sa mga living things. No, diri sa abiotic. Murag mo na siyang katong mandan living things pud nga kuan. No. So diri sa biotic natay plants, animals, bacteria, fungus, and then protists. So next, major category of biotic components. So natay producer, consumer, niya ang decomposer. So producer, the gross primary producer biotic factors are plants and trees. They employ photosynthesis to capture energy from the environment and produce it some other preservable form. Apart from plants and trees, coral, algae, and bacteria are also important producers of an ecosystem. So ang kining producer guys, no, otherwise called as autotrophs. Sa wala pa nakakuha ng autotrophs, it is an organism that is able to form nutritional organic substance from simple inorganic substance such as carbon dioxide. So, nga may idea kung saan na sila, no? Manas lang kuan. Matuging plants and trees. No, since kay mamanay kuan ka ng process ng photosynthesis. No? And then, next, no, example nato, ang plants and trees. Mo na sila pinakakuan din. And then, apil tong kuan. Mga corals, tong mga kuan sa dagat. Algae nga na. Next, consumers. Consumers as biotic factor are those that rely on other living organisms as food to obtain energy and survive. So just sa consumer guys, particularly kabalo na tagkuan sa mga consumers, so kita ang mga kubang kuan animals na mukhaon og plants, mukhaon og other animals. Manas lang mga consumers guys. Sabot mo siguro mo ana. They are also referred to us as heterotrophs in contrast to autotrophs. The term heterotroph is from the Greek hetero, which means others, and troph, which means food. So dagi ka ng kuan heterotrophs. So next, natin mga sample sa kuan. So mostly mga carnivores. Pero apil na ang kuan itong mga herbivores guys, itong mga kuan kanding, mga kabaw, mostly may mukhaon sa kuan mga plants, and then kato sila mo kanon sa kuan food aning ng mga animals, no? Sa mga kuan sa mga kuan sa consumers. Next, decomposers. Decomposers include soil, bacteria, fungi, worms, flies, and other organisms that break down dead materials or waste products from other life forms. So, ano matingala mo guys nga kanang may mga patay nga na udlon, no? Mas na mga kuan, mga anak mas langaw, since na-include man ang langaw diri, is decomposer ng langaw dito. Kung wala po sila po, wala yung mangitlog sa kuan, ang mga patayng lawas bitaw sa mga laga, mga kuan. So magpundor ang mga kuan, wala na yung mga decomposer. So dahil klase sa decomposer guys, worms, especially ang worms na ano yung mga patay na kahoy, dahon, tanan mga waste products, yung mga patay na mga kuan, lawas. Muna sila yung decompose anak. Usa po na sila sa kuan food prod. Naglimpyo lang po sa atong palibot. They are distinct from consumer because consumers usually consume other organism while they are still alive. So yes, kay ang consumer guys, mukuan man sila, kanang for example kanang mga carnivores, no? Patay pa sila kuan kanang lying animals para makakaon. While the decomposer is more or less like kanang mga kuan ito, mostly mga scavengers ito mga nga sila limutiwas ba. So here guys, mo si kuan isa pa ka example sa mga decomposers, which is ang earthworm, fungi, and bacteria. So, kung ano nung appealing kuan, fungi, kabantay mo anong kuan, mga patay nga kahoy, ni manurok mga mushroom nga na, muna sila. Isa po na sila sa nagkuan food, compose ana. So, mga to guys, medyo bububor itong topic. So, punta namin yung sabtan. Then, mag-research na lang food para sa kuan quiz po. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Emily Sarceda Camino. So this is the continuation of Marl Ruiz report. So, okay, let's begin. About 30% of the sunlight reaching the Earth's surface is reflected back into the space. And about 50% is absorbed as heat by the ground, vegetation, and water. While 20% is absorbed by the atmosphere, which does not seem to leave much for photosynthesis. In fact, only about 0.2% of the sunlight reaching the atmosphere is used in photosynthesis. Nevertheless, it is this small fraction on which all organisms of the ecosystem depend. All living things needs energy to survive. Living things get their energy from different places. Plants are known as producers. This means that they make their own food through the process of photosynthesis. Animals are known as consumers. This means that they get their nutrition by eating their other living things such as other animals or plants. An animal that eats another animals is called predator. The animals they eat is called prey. So predators eat prey. A food chain shows us how plants and animals depend on each other for food. The energy in the food passes along the food chain. Food chains usually begin with a plant and end with a large animal, so we begin with the producers. The primary consumers are the animals that eat the plants. The secondary consumers are the animals that eat the primary consumers. The tertiary consumers are the animals that eat the secondary consumers. When all living things die, decomposers feed on them. Example of decomposers are bacteria, fungi, beetles, etc. Now, let's look at some examples. Plants, rabbits, fox, lions. So here is a food chain that rabbit eats the plants, the fox eats the rabbit, the lion eats the fox, the plants are the producers, so the rabbit is the primary consumer. The fox is the secondary consumer. The lion is the tertiary consumer. Another example is algae, small fish, bigger fish, sea lion, and shark. The small fish eat the algae, The bigger fish eat the small fish. The sea lion eat the bigger fish. The shark eat the sea lions. Algae is the producer. Small fish is the primary consumer. Bigger fish are the secondary consumer. Sea lion are the tertiary consumer. And shark are the quaternary consumer. Okay, so that's all guys. Thank you and God bless.